Hello, Scarbo. What do we have today?
Hi, MD. We have Liisa project, which is new, and we've got Paulo and Bernardo from it. Hi, you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thanks,
Our
guys.
pleasure. Our pleasure. So, firstly, Liisa, what does it stand for? Does it stand for something or?
Yeah, so it's quite a funny story. So we used to have a really bad name for the project. It was called All Things Dapps. No one understood what it meant. So we had to come up with something simple because we are from the suburbs of Lisbon. And Lisbon is becoming like a Web3 hub. I don't know if you guys saw a report yesterday, but it's basically the crypto capital of Europe. It was named the crypto capital of Europe. And because we were always developing the company in Lisbon, and we use Liisa to refer to Lisbon, we thought it would be a great name for the company because it's where we're headquartered, where the idea was born, and also this crypto hub for Europe. And it's also a female name. It's easy to remember. Yeah.
And AI female, it kind of goes. It's a good name.
Yeah, excellent name.
Yeah.
I like the two eyes in there. Makes it look interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly, it was we tried with one eye, but the domain was so expensive that it needed to be created, right? So
There's a lot of people called Liisa.
Yeah, there are a lot of people called Liisa, yeah, for sure. And then the second eye kind of gave it a unique personality, I would say. So we really liked it and stuck with it.
Perfect. It's perfect. Absolutely great. Yeah, good find. Yeah, walk us through your webpage here, and
what are you about?
Yeah.
So at Liisa, our goal is to help NFT investors and collectors make better and faster decisions by using AI to help them make sense of qualitative data on NFT projects. So something we have figured out is that NFT investors, when they are deciding whether or not to invest into an NFT project, they usually look at two types of information, right? More quantitative information, so prices, number of sales, number of listings. So basically seeing how the prices are trending, if there's liquidity in the market, all of that. So, and there were already tons of tools in the market to help you do that. So there are a lot of already established platforms for that. But there was also a more qualitative side to NFT projects that you didn't really have a platform where you could find. So I'm talking about NFT project roadmaps, their specific utilities, information on project teams, so that communities as well. So that that type of thing. And so we went out and because we knew a lot of NFT collectors ourselves, we started talking to a lot of people, and we started understanding that for many people, even the majority sometimes, they are more interested in understanding the qualitative aspect of a project, so its community, utility, and team, rather than just looking at numbers. So, and how people do this, so there's a very quite cumbersome process, I would say. So you're either scrolling through Twitter, or you're on some Discord groups, or someone mentions a project. If you find it interesting, you go look into it. First thing, you want to understand what's the project about. So what's its utility, what's its roadmap. Usually some information is on the Discord, other information is on the project's website.
It's a lot of research, isn't it?
It's the classic do your own research.
If you go in that depth, that's a lot of time just to look at something.
So you guys were already getting bored just by the explanation, right? So imagine people who are collecting NFTs intensely, that do these hours per day, and they still aren't able to get sometimes that as much of a result in terms of either or profits or finding a good project to be part of a community. Most of the times that all that analysis is kind of worthless because they still cannot find something that they really like. So that's how we came up with Liisa, basically. So our goal is to give these collectors everything they need in a single place. So maybe rather than I just telling you, maybe you can just play the video and I can make a comment in the end.
Oh.
That was quick. like
Excellent.
Liisa.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so just a minor comment here from my side. So this website, this was the first thing we ever did for the project, of course, besides of talking to people and making some analysis. So back when we launched this, we were really at the beginning. We didn't even have a community. Uh, we didn't even know like the best way to look at the data and whatever. This was just our first experiment to get the word out. So nowadays we are a community of over 850 people who are contributing. The platform has advanced a lot. So since what you see in this video, we already have way more features, way more information. And we are actually now working on what we call the beta version, which will be the next generation of the platform with insights gathered from this huge community of investors that we are creating.
I'm
So
curious.
you guys, sorry, MD. So you guys are listening to the community within your Discord to get ideas of how to improve this?
Yes, like 100%, like every day, we are getting suggestions. Like when you see the beta mockups that we have just released on our Discord, that's actually not ideas that came just from our minds. It's actually from spending months collecting suggestions, analyzing every single one of them, testing them with the community, asking them, do you like this idea? Do you not like it? So it's really being built from the ground up with this feedback loop.
So they're helping you build this as well as, and a part of this.
Sorry, I think I didn't get your question. Sorry.
So your community is helping you build this and improve it then, basically?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Good.
I'm curious about the AI aspect of this. Can you tell us more about this? Because when I think AI, and most people nowadays, they think of ChatGPT, right, or similar. Is this related, or do you have your own? How does this work?
That's a very good question. So ChatGPT is a natural language model, right? So what a language model does is basically you feed it text data, right? You feed it text, and you can ask it questions about what's written on that text, and he will be able to answer you because it can interpret text, right?
Yeah.
So that's ChatGPT. We do have a bit of that integrated into our backend system, right? So when you see there the information about project teams, utility, community, we are actually not going through every single collection and noting like who are the team members and inputting that to the computer. What's the utility? None of that. So what we are doing actually is we are training language models like the models that you have in ChatGPT. So we automatically, as soon as a collection enters our database, usually via the smart contract, we have ways of knowing through the smart contract what's like the website that's associated to that smart contract, and we can actually derive and get in real time all this information with the AI, right? So we are not like ourselves saying what's the utility of a project, who's the team, what's the roadmap, whatever. We are actually doing that automatically with the AI. So this is the first stage of our data pipeline. So we are using the language model for that. Then further down the line, we are also using the AI to produce insights. So one feature we already released is the sentiment analysis. So basically what we do have is like an AI that's listening to Twitter, right? What's being said on Twitter about the project. And it's actually reading that text and saying, people are saying good things or people are saying bad things. So you can see if people saying that the project is a rug is starting to grow, our AI can detect that. If people are saying that let's go, whatever, the AI can also detect that and say that that sentiment is positive.
It's amazing. And now it saves a lot of time for the person looking at NFTs. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's our main purpose, right? Is to do two things, right? Or we can look at it from two angles, right? You can either help someone that spends a lot of time doing it save time, or you can help someone that previously couldn't spend all that time, because some people, they have their own life outside of Web3, right? Not all of us are like full-time
We
traders or
wish.
investors. So
Yeah.
we are actually, our goal is to allow all of these people to be able to get all of those insights that they would never be able to get just with their spare time on the weekends or whatever, you know. So that's, yeah, the main value proposition is that time saving that the AI can do for yourself. We're
So,
actually now, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
quick question. So I've not looked at yet. I've not, signed up for the alpha test or whatever, but I'm just
Mhm.
imagining. So you have a backend where the user can then log in, they can favorite the projects they're looking at and keep track of those, but they can also see like a global sentiment. What are the latest projects? What are new projects? What are
Yeah, they
projects that are rugs? What are projects that are, you know, going up and getting more interest? And then on the
it's
other
a good
hand, would you
question.
then also have, for example, like a text interface like ChatGPT, where you can talk to him, the AI, and say, look, give me
Yeah.
a project that has monkeys and is on the rise and just came out last week. What is there? And then he will show you all of that.
Okay. Just answering to so that was two questions. I think one is favorites, highlights, and whatever. Yeah. So if you check like on the current alpha version, we don't have it yet, but that's of course one of the things that popped up the most, right? Those questions of the highlights, your own watch lists, and whatever. So that's already into our beta version. So because yeah, of course, something that we've understood is so if you check our alpha version now, you just seen it. So we have like a search engine at the table where you can input different filters to find things that you might like according to criteria that you input, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people don't always look what they are looking for, and sometimes they like to have like some suggestions of things to look at. So in our beta version, we have different types of highlights. So imagine things that are going up in price, things that are going up in hype in social media, uh, things that have that you have on your watch list. So we have several categories with highlights, so you can find all of that there. So a feature that we are now working in on, sorry, which is not out yet because this one takes a bit time, is so we are actually crossing all of that data, and we are training an AI model to identify exactly that. So you were asking about rugs or projects that have a good potential or whatever. So we're right now we're doing the research work with our data scientists on finding the patterns so that we can attribute a unique score to each project, which we are calling the AI score, but it can have another name. It doesn't matter, but exactly that. So trying to understand by the data, like if Twitter followers are growing organically, if they are not, if you just bought 50,000 followers in a week, our AI model should be able to pick up that up.
So see if
Um,
someone
if,
pays for followers, for example, right?
exactly, we can track that, yeah, for sure, and we can
Fantastic.
Wow.
alert you,
Amazing,
yeah,
right, Nick?
Yeah, that's incredible that you can do that.
yeah, yeah, we can do that. That's not really a problem. But again, the problem is so the for you to see that as a user, you would need to go inside of a collection and look at that chart of the Twitter followers and take that conclusion for yourself, right? So what we
Right.
are working on now with our data scientist is how can we bring that forward to the user? So on the first page, when he sees the collection, he already has the flag there or the score there saying this might be interesting or this is probably rubbish, right?
Mm.
So
Right.
that's something we are working on. Regarding the AI prompts, so asking a question and it responding to, that's something we have been discussing recently, of course, with the advent of ChatGPT and all these AI agents and whatever. Yeah, that's definitely something that's on our radar. So how we would envision it in the future is exactly just having like a text box where you can ask the question. Then it's a matter of training the GPT model to be able to access our database because we already have all of the data of the Twitter followers, of the Discord followers, of the swings in price, on the teams are being doxed or not, or on the project being apes or being gaming or being whatever. And actually, that's quite easy to implement. It's just to implement the prompt window and then connect ChatGPT to our database. We should be able to do that. So yeah, that's something that will come soon. Not in the beta yet, unfortunately, but that's something we're looking at for sure.
I found when I heard the first time about the project, I think Scarborough, you told me, right?
Yeah, I shared it with you the other day,
Yeah,
didn't
I just looked at it and was like, wow, that sounds fascinating. Absolutely, yes. Let's look at this. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people want to know about your project, and there's a huge number of people that
it's
buys and sells
crazy.
NFTs and spends their days researching, and this is going to be a huge help. Definitely, amazing project.
That's what we want to do. Thank you for
It's
the
a
kind
game
word.
changer as far as NFT buying and selling.
And no one's
Really.
doing this, what you're doing.
No.
No one's doing it. At least I don't know of any.
Yeah, there's not that many people doing it yet. It's actually like also from a strategic standpoint, like why would we just do like a platform just like all the others that are already out there, right? Let's see what's not being done yet, and
Yeah.
let's double down on it.
Yeah, of
Exactly.
course, you want to specialize. You want to find a niche that nobody's doing. And
Exactly.
yeah, I would like to see at some point, maybe you can do another video next time and see a little bit of the back end. And maybe when you have another beta version, I would love to see a little bit more to show, be able to show to people how this all works.
Yeah, we'd love to make a demo of the beta version. You guys just if you want, once we have it live, I can send you a DM and we can
Yeah,
arrange that.
yeah, let's do that.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Nick, do you have any more questions?
I just think it's fascinating. The use of AI to do this for people and making it easier for people buying and selling NFTs.
So where can people find you online?
Oh yeah, you just need to type Liisa.io, or on Twitter, you just type Liisa_io. There on Twitter and also on the website, you have a link to our Discord where you can come hang out. That's something we are really betting on, is to create a really great community actually. So there are so many communities, right? And we are trying to bring in these people that are passionate about NFTs and that really like look into these projects and want to know about them. So yeah, just coming out on our Discord, and we have a lot of people that you can have interesting conversations about the topic.
I got two more questions for you, actually. One question is, what NFT blockchain does this work on, or is this independent of the blockchain?
That took my question away.
There you go.
Maybe I'm just going to let Paulo answer this one and also our vision for the future.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
He talks a bit as well.
Sure, yeah. Currently, what we're doing is we're tracking Ethereum and Polygon. So those are the two. So Ethereum being the mainnet and Polygon, the layer 2 that we're tracking. In the future, we plan to integrate other blockchains such as BNB and Solana. But at the moment, this was also a decision that in terms of strategy, was to kind of focus on Ethereum, obviously, because it's where everyone is building and everyone is deploying those smart contracts, those NFTs. And then Polygon, because it's also attached to Ethereum and the fees are much, much lower. There's also a lot of activity there.
Polygon is what like Ethereum should have been, right? It's the impression I had. It's very fast and cheap.
Yeah, I mean, like the gas fees on Ethereum today, they were so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing like an $8 transaction, and the transaction fee was $94.
Yeah, it's
Imagine that.
crazy.
So
And I
it's still
love
like
the
that.
art underneath, and it's the gas fees just destroy me. And ETH's the biggest marketplace for NFTs, but it's like them gas fees are murder.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, the decision like to start with Ethereum was strategic, as Paulo said, because it was the one that had the most adoption, right? When
Yeah.
we started.
When did you guys start? How long ago did you guys start with Sparge?
So we started having the first ideas, I would say a little over a year ago, right? But developing Liisa, as we've kind of envisioned it today, I would say it was probably 10 months ago. I would say that's when we started. Yeah.
Wow.
Paulo,
That's
you
a
want to
lot of
continue
work.
your thought?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think I think in terms of strategy, also, I was just saying, like a Polygon, we are seeing more and more household names in Web2 coming into Web3, and they tend to choose Polygon for their use case when they'll launch an NFT collection. And my personal view, and because I look at data all day long, is I think Polygon will still grow even more in the future. We're seeing the Polygon guys from, I think it's Polygon Labs, they keep doing a lot of partnerships in terms of development. So they award a lot of grants to teams to kind of build on top of their technology, which I think is smart. And I think though these two will dominate the NFT market for the next years, honestly.
How far down the list is XRP NFTs?
To be honest, I hadn't heard of XRP NFTs. I just heard about them talking to Scarbo.
Yeah,
This
we're
is
launching
crazy.
some.
The amount of people outside of XRP that haven't heard that XRP are minting NFTs is crazy.
I had no idea. I thought everybody knew. You see?
No,
I had no idea as well.
it's
But I
incredible.
think it makes sense because I think NFTs. I mean, there's no use in having NFTs with high fees, right? So if you have
No.
a chain has low fees, I think it's good for NFTs, right?
Very.
Yeah.
It's
Another
good for
thing-
everybody.
Another thing that I think is an advantage for you guys, because the smart contracts don't exist like this on XRP, and you have everything on chain, so it might facilitate to get to certain data. All transactions on NFTs are on the main chain, visible to everybody, right? Unlike the smart contracts, which can be hidden from marketplace to marketplace, and it's not always obvious what's going on. So I think that's something that's really great about the XRPL, that this is all transparent.
Yeah, and I think correct me if I'm wrong, but the idea that I have of XRP, it's that it's very into the financial world and financial institutions, right?
Yeah.
The use case for XRP, and so I'm not really into XRP in terms of NFTs, mostly because I spend most of my days just deep into developing, and so I kind of sometimes suffer of not being aware of what's happening around.
But there's always like that, right? There's always so much going on in the crypto world.
That's right.
Even if you're there for
Changes
years,
every
every
day.
day, right? We
Yeah.
try to keep up with it. So, but
But
there's a
there
lot
could be-
happening on XRP. You know, we have
Yeah.
the NFTs launched. The next thing that is coming are the hooks. It's called hooks. It's an amendment that will kind of smart like contracts on the XRPL. And the
Okay.
side chains, XRPL side chains that have actual smart contracts, EVM compatibility already running on the test nets. So this is all coming probably this year to the mainnet. XRP will do it all: smart contracts, NFTs, you name it, side chains. So it's something to keep an eye on. And if you can be early with your Liisa on XRP, I think for sure it's going to be very successful. Because like you said, the fees are very low. It's very fast, you know.
That's very interesting. Maybe you can, after this, you can point us towards like a website where you can learn a bit more.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
Try to
absolutely, we will.
understand what use cases in terms of NFTs people would are testing with. Because, for example, I see a lot of NFTs on Binance. I think it's on Binance, but for example, there are positions for liquidity pools. So people attach other types of. We are constantly used to see NFTs as, for example, PFPs or things of that nature, art. But there are a lot of other use cases.
Yeah, we've done a video, for example, with a company called BPM, and they're using the NFTs for ticketing, like Ticketmaster,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
except on chain. And it would run obviously invisible to the user with an app that they're working on. and it would, in the background, it would use their token that runs on the XRP ledger. So there is a few examples like this that use the XRP mainnet directly with XRP or with one of their tokens that you can create for other utilities than NFTs, for example. Yeah, there is examples. It's
But yeah,
growing
we
very fast.
definitely have a chat. It is
Yeah.
growing.
Anything else you want to say about your project before we close it for today?
Yeah, I would just let me make a comment. Like,
Yeah.
I think for that type of use case, like tickets that you were mentioning, like, of course, again, it makes total sense to use a blockchain that it doesn't have high fees, right? Like, you don't want to pay $30 for a concert ticket, for example, and then pay a $50 fee, you know, to
That's
buy
right.
it.
Yeah.
Fees on XRPL is 0.00015 XRP per transaction. It's not measurable in cents.
And we've just been sending each other some, and it's like, I've sent it, yeah, I've got it, and that's how
It's
quick
instant,
it
yeah,
is.
couple seconds. And that
So,
goes for
but
minting, for the fees for minting. And one thing that XRP has, they have reserves, right? So every transaction, not every transaction, but for example, minting or setting a price offer has a reserve that prevents spammers from just putting a bot up on the main chain and putting doing harm, right? Taking up all the calculations that the main chain can handle with like fake sell offers, or I don't know, like attack the chain, you know. So if you want to, for example, sell an NFT, there's a reserve of 2 XRP for each sell offer that you put up. So you know there's like these protective measures. For example, also the tokens on the XRPL, they have a reserve as well, and a trust line you have to set. So you can't just be sent some kind of sub token. You have to actually want to be able to accept them, and then you have a reserve fee, and then only then can you get the token sent to you. So there's a few of those kind of things, which makes the XRPL very, very safe, you know.
That is quite cool.
Yeah.
I think
Like unlike Tron, I don't know if you know Tron or others, you just get tokens
yeah.
appearing in your wallet. You don't know where they came from.
That's right. Yeah.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think one of the greatest challenges of the industry, possibly XRP as well, is like, and we see it with other chains as well. There are so many like nice and actually competitors to the most established chains in their area. So like there are a lot of chains with awesome technology for NFTs, like low fees, great primitives built into the chains themselves. But the challenge is like, how can we get the word out in a way that people can actually understand the benefit, and on the other side, to have like a user interface layer that is simple and that people are accustomed to, but at the same time that can bring in those new benefits. So I think that's quite of the challenge in NFTs, and I think that's why people use Ethereum so much, is simple fact that they're just used to it, you know. And there are probably much cooler techs out there, but it's hard to get the message out, right, for the masses.
yeah,
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 always is.
definitely. It's that tribal thing where I'm just X, Y, Z, and that's all I do. But it's a big world out there, and what you're doing is opening the NFT world up to people.
Yeah, I think that's the only way we're ever going to reach mass adoption on Web3.
Yeah.
Make sure that things that are super hard, they at least look simple, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And we're seeing a lot of, especially people who invest into Web3 companies. At least what we hear a lot is most of these funds, they tend to invest in infrastructure companies. And the reason is obviously in order for Web3 to reach mass adoption, you need to have the initial infrastructure that allows people to use it, right? It's like using, for example, Instagram. I don't know what technology that is built in, but for me as a user, it's very easy to use, right? And I think the same needs to happen to Web3. So it's like Bernardo was saying, the interface.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just this whole big number of, let's say, wallets, for example, software wallets, some of them are extremely complicated. Like, you know, the process to get into it and to do something for the normal
That's right.
user, they're not going to do that, you know, unless it's really easy to use. Like you said, with Instagram, it's just a couple buttons and they can do what they want to do. They don't have to worry about how it works in the background and all the technology aspects. They can just use it for what they want to use it for. And we need this to happen for crypto, right? The same way.
Yeah, exactly.
Nick?
And I was going to say, it is a scary thing when you first get into it. It's mind blowing. The people I speak to about crypto, it's like, no, it's above my head, and it's too complicated for them.
Definitely. We really like if we make the analogy with like the fiat money, right? Like I don't need to know how the bank works. I just need to know how to make a bank transfer, right?
Yeah,
So there's like an abstraction, a set of layers of abstraction that we need to make sure that the user doesn't need to know everything about how a blockchain works to be able to use.
That's right.
because people are generally idle. That can't be done. It's too much like hard work. So it needs to be as simple as possible.
Just press a button that says
Yeah,
do
press
this.
button. There you
That's
go. I
it.
don't need to know the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a paradox in a way as well because if you really want to speak about the ethos of blockchain or self-sovereignty, like managing your own private keys and whatever, it's kind of difficult to reach a balance between having to know how things work, or and things being easy to use, right? Because if you don't want to abstract yourself from key management and all of that, you're going to need to use a centralized player probably to manage your keys. So a lot of cool challenges, but still I think we need to simplify things at least a bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything else you guys wanna say about your project?
Yeah, I mean, I think so we, as Paulo said, like our goal is to really be multi-chain. Like we're currently tracking just Ethereum and Polygon, two chains. Like that's a very strategic option from ourselves because on the one hand, like we have like a limited resources team. So each new blockchain we want to add to the platform, we have to integrate it, right? Usually chain by chain. So that means that we could either start integrating a lot of chains from the start, or we could do what we are doing, which is, okay, let's integrate one chain that has users as adoption to understand like what's the right user interface, right? And once we get that right user interface, and we were much closer now with the beta launch soon, now we have the right interface. Let's just start adding more blockchains, more collections, more data. And then, of course, the decisions we will make on which chains to integrate will be a function of two things. One is what our users are requesting of us. So if, I don't know, if out of the blue we start having a lot of people telling us, we would really like to have XRP. I really want to see XRP NFTs there. Of course, that will become a priority for us. Then on the other side, like if we get some support from these chains as well, so we are talking to a chain discussing a possibility of them attributing a grant to us. So of course, we will need to prioritize that chain as well. But just wanted to leave the message that like just because we don't have a specific chain yet doesn't mean that you shouldn't come to our Discord, hang out there, learn about NFTs, because some of these things are quite transversal. And if you would like to see Liisa on your own blockchain, on the blockchain that you use, you just go there, make some noise, tell us that's what you want, and we'll eventually start looking into it. So just wanted to give that message there. I don't know if you guys have any questions or comments as well.
Well, I have a final one here, and then Nick maybe also. The one I had was if people see this video and they say, okay, can I try this out? What can they do to, or is it possible or not?
Yeah, it is possible. So although we are tracking like Ethereum NFTs, you actually in this alpha version you don't need to connect with the wallet or anything. You just need to sign up with an email. So anyone can have a look at it, see what we are doing. Everyone can experiment with it. You just need to take a key from us. So what I would suggest is that you come. Either you input your email address here on our website and you will receive a code via email, or you can come by and we'll be happy to give it to you as well.
Perfect. Nick?
Yeah, one question. Obviously, when it becomes live, is there a price to this? Do people have to pay, or is it going to be free?
Yeah, no, this will be a paid service
Yeah.
because we need to be sustainable. Like,
Of
don't
course you
mind
do.
pricing here. This is just we put this as a dummy version just to see if someone would click it and have interest on paying for it. This pricing is not accurate. It's gonna be probably lower than what you see there.
Right.
So yeah, and also we're with the launch of the beta, we'll also renew this website, give a bit more context there as well. It will be a paid service. Something we are doing, and actually I don't know if you guys would be interested or not. We are actually partnering with some NFT communities, right? Can be collections, don't necessarily need to be collections. We've partnered like with communities as well that are not collections. But we are giving like everyone that joins us from those communities, like we give them a specific code to signal from which community they came. And actually, when we launched the paid version, everyone that comes from a partner community will have like a huge discount on the first months of the subscription. And we'll also have the opportunity, like if they contribute to our own community, give a lot of feedback, and help us build a platform, we will actually extend the benefits, and they're even going to be able to use it for free for a longer time period.
Lovely.
So that's something you guys would like to look into. Happy to
Yeah.
after the.
We'll send our community over. There you
Yeah,
go.
cool. So I'll send you a DM, Scarbo, and
Yeah.
we have like a template and the code and all of that.
Yeah, and I'll send them over.
And I think this covers it, right? We want to thank
Yeah,
you, Bernardo and
it's
Paulo, for
awesome.
being here with your Liisa project. I hope you guys gonna get a lot of attention because it sounds fascinating.
Yeah,
It's
man.
crazy.
Thank you guys for the kind words and the trust and for having us. It's really nice for us to have like people supporting us in our initial stage. So we'd really like to thank you for inviting us today, and
Our
happy to
absolute pleasure.
guys again whenever,
Perfect. We'd
absolute
love
pleasure.
that. We'd love that as well. We love to support the early projects.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we'll be following you closely.
Yeah, guys, thanks a lot for having us.
Thanks ever so much for taking the time out of your day. And
Yeah.
on that note, to the moon.